Elon could be one of the most influential people of the current era, especially for the media in which he spreads his truths and opinions. The millionaire uses Twitter as a canvas to outline his scandals and alarming phrases, where he has more than 90 million followers. And with his threads, he keeps an entire community in the loop of his comments and his answers, creating in the media great discussion topics. His media personality impacts in messages that maybe are not new, though they provoke news and retweets thanks to his way of saying, and the attention and expectation that his words generate. Perhaps the world needs a loudspeaker for certain obvious news, but that they need a big impact. Elon Musk warns of a recession in the United States that would last 12 to 18 months. For some time, the visionary has caused scandals in the social network that he plans to acquire. In the last one, he alerts the population about a pessimistic observation regarding a possible economic crisis that would fall as a domino effect on the automotive industry. The demand for Tesla electric cars has remained strong, and yet concerns about the risk of recession have increased. However, Tesla has had problems at its factory in Shanghai to start production due to COVID-19 lockdowns. After all, we can't skim over the fact that humanity went through 2 years of pandemic and is going through a major war in Ukraine that has led to production problems in several sectors of industry. A recession seems to be something that is being endured and was quite likely. According to Elon, the recession is necessary since, quote, "it has been raining money on fools for a long time." Quote, "companies that are inherently negative cash flow, i.e. value destroyers, must die so that they stop consuming resources." In order to alleviate this pessimistic feeling about the economy, Elon raised with his executives via email the possibility of laying off 10% of his employees at Tesla. Today, the company has 100,000 employees around the world. The message, spread by the Reuters agency, is filtered days after Musk announced the requirement for his employees to be present at the Tesla offices, saying that those who don't show up in the offices, their absence, quote, "will be considered as their resignation." The minimum they will have to spend in the office would be 40 hours a week, which caused the reaction of the Australian tech billionaire and co-founder of Atlassian, Scott Farquhar, who ridiculed the directive in a series of tweets such as, quote, "something out of the 1950s. Musk tweeted, quote, "recessions serve a vital role of economic cleansing," in response to a tweet from Farquhar. By the end of May, when a Twitter user asked if the economy was approaching a recession, Musk said, quote, "yes, but it's actually a good thing. Some bankruptcies need to happen." It seems that Musk is hiding the stock drop that has recently hit Tesla by drawing attention to the lack of productivity of his employees, who have been working from home since the pandemic. He's trying to reduce his employees by giving them the opportunity to choose to resign and take another job maybe, which accepts the home office, since many workers now prefer remote work, and thus removing the responsibility of the layoff. The obvious American economic downturn is the way to go, not because of what Musk tweets or does, but because it was inevitable. Many economists have seen it coming for a long time. Personalities such as JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon and the president of Goldman Sachs, John Waldron. A, quote, "hurricane is right there, on the road, coming to us." Inflation in the United States rises and surrounds the highest levels in 40 years, increasing the cost of living of Americans. The artificial demand created with low rates makes the Federal Reserve need to lower it to curb inflation without causing a recession. Will Elon make his wishes come true? Namely, inflation is the sustained and general increase in the prices of an economy goods and services over time. Countries usually have an inflation target for each year, which requires internal and external factors to be met. That one of the United States was 2% for 2021, and as is known, inflation has soared to 6.2% until October, which has been reflected in affectations in the people's pockets. In March 2022, it was registered a maximum of 8.5%, never seen in the last 4 decades. The reasons? Strong demand, supply chain disruptions, and skyrocketing energy costs as a result of the war in Ukraine. Consumer prices in the United States increased again in March and recorded for the first time the impact of the Ukrainian war in the domestic economy, especially in the cost of gasoline, with an all-time high of $4.33 average, €3.99 per gallon, or 3.7 liters. The data, which was expected, most analysts were betting on a year-on-year increase of 8.4%, cements the next interest rate hike at 0.5 percentage points that analysts assume the Federal Reserve is expected to announce at its meeting in May. The cost of living for American citizens is getting higher every day. The unemployment and inflation rates of recent weeks are not good, and the economy is collapsing, lowering the prices of financial markets and affecting the global economy. Even Tesla's stock is down, which isn't good for Elon Musk or his employees. This week, U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo admitted there isn't much more the White House can do to deal with the record gasoline prices affecting Americans. Blaming the war in Ukraine, this is due in large part to the aggression of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Since Putin moved his troops to Ukraine's border, gasoline prices have risen more than $1.40 a gallon, and the president, Biden, is asking Congress and other possible ideas. But, as you say, the reality is that there is not much more to do, she insisted on her interview with CNN. What's going to happen? Inflation in the United States is evident, and it's happening. It's not necessary to predict it. Since the war broke out in Ukraine, many await the already estimated results of the damage that it causes. On the other hand, Ted Pick, co-chairman of Morgan Stanley and director of institutional securities, commented that the United States is on a verge of a completely different economic cycle than what was seen before, as in 2008, and far removed from the lax monetary policy of the last 15 years. It's an extraordinary moment. It points to a paradigm shift, the end of 15 years of financial repression, and the next era to come, said the specialist. Maybe Elon is right when he says this recession will be good. According to his vision, the new economic era, which could be a business cycle with higher lending rates, would start in the next 12, 18, or 24 months. This paradigm shift at some point will bring a new cycle. It's been so long since we had to consider what a world looks like with real interest rates and a real cost of capital that will distinguish winning companies from losing companies, winning stocks from losing stocks, concluded Ted Pick. It is important to remember that the US monetary entity has already begun to raise interest rates. In March, 0.25%. In May, 0.50%. In addition, it is expected that in June and July, there will be other increases of 0.50%. And here ends today's video. Thanks for reaching the end of the video. We meet again the next time with more news and updates from the business world. If you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive the notifications when we upload new videos. See you soon.